So, you want to buy a pair of laceless football boots, but you can't really decide which one to get. No worries, I'm gonna help you with that. But the thing is, laceless boots, they're a bit funny because ever since they went mainstream in 2016 with this bad boy, the A16 Plus Pure Control, they've kind of just stuck around. And while the hype might not have been as big as in 2016 to maybe 2021, there's still a lot of options, and in today's video I'll tell you which 5 I think are the best. Not this one though, but the others. And we can begin with the Adidas Copa Pure 3 Elite LL, which is a great looking boot at first, but also probably one of the 2 most comfortable boots on the list. This fusion skin calf leather forefoot here is absolutely phenomenal. And the way it breaks in and just fits your foot, especially if you go down half a size to get that perfect fit, at least for me. The fit is really accommodating, and especially the heel is absolutely phenomenal. So it fits really good on foot, except for when we talk lockdown. And that's a bit of a problem for me because the tension here in this elasticated piece and the structure in the upper just isn't good enough for me to adequately lock my foot down on the plate and push it far enough back into the heel to make me feel secure. Which means that when I make cuts, and especially when I push off, there's just a little bit of movement up and down for my heel and a little bit side to side. And that's just not, I just want to feel personally a little bit more secure. So if you are looking for, a very sleek looking boot or just mega slipper-like comfort, these are great. If you want just like an acceptable amount of lockdown, I'd probably look elsewhere. And actually, you can say the same thing about the F50 Elite LL in 4th place, where Adidas, just like on the Copa Pure 3 Elite, have basically just taken the regular laced version, removed the compression fit tongue and the laces, and replaced it with this one-piece elasticated knit tongue instead. That's it. So it's like the regular version where they've just taken the laces out. No additional support built into the upper or anything like that, and just like on the Copa Pure 3, that proves to be a little bit of a problem. Now, with that said, I actually think it's decent because you do get the same fiber touch upper, which is a little stiff at first, but once you break it in, it becomes really nice and soft, and it's very thin, close to the ball, lovely texture and all that. The shape is great, really, really nice and accommodating for most type of foot shapes. Heel is pretty decent, I would say, but then again, while it does to me have a little bit more structure in the upper than the Copa Pure 3, it's just not enough for me. And I do still have some heel slippage and just don't feel adequately locked in, secure enough in the midfoot for me to really enjoy it and not compare this to the laced version. So yeah, it's nice and tiptoey and sleek and all that, but if they wanted to make a laceless speed boot, then maybe at least build the upper a little bit more around the fact that it's laceless. So not bad, but not outrageously good either to me. But actually, if you do, if you want a laceless speed boot instead of the F50 Elite LL, I would probably take a look at this, the Lotto Solista 108 Gravity, which is not only, in my book, actually a lot better than the F50, but also 70 euros cheaper. So, what's not to like? What you get here is a full knitted upper with these engineered ribs that feel nice on the ball, and then you have a slightly plush, a little bit thick liner on the inside, which when you combine it with that very low pointy toe box, gives you this really snug, but also very personal fitting, super anatomical sock-like sensation, which is not only really close to the ball, but also gives you this slightly elegant feeling because of that foamy inner liner. It also runs a little bit long, so I had to go down half a size to get the best possible fit, which also means that it is on the snug side. But because this is just a soft knit, it accommodates and it feels really nice. And then you'd probably think, uh-oh, that sounds like a problem for the lockdown, but because Lotto have actually put like this piece of silicone film on top of most of the elasticated tongue, the lockdown is good. So once you have it on, which is tricky because of the silicone film, and you'll probably need a shoehorn because otherwise you're gonna struggle. Once you have it on, the lockdown is good. It's solid in the midfoot, has a great tight fitting heel shape, and I had negligible to, if any heel slippage, which was great. Outsoles, light and decent, and it's just a super tiptoey, very comfortable, nimble, easy, laceless speed boot with better than expected lockdown for 200 euros. That looks cool too. But then we move to second place, and what I think could easily be the best laceless option for a lot of people, and what I also think is the best laceless Adidas boot, the Predator Elite LL, which does give you just to me, a better experience, a more balanced experience compared to the other two, because not only is it actually really nice fitting, pretty comfortable, but also it does provide a really good sense of lockdown. And I'll get back to the reason in a second, but what I really like here is that you maintain the Hypertouch 2.0 upper, which has this great feeling of having some sort of structural integrity, but still being very soft to take around the shape of your foot nicely, especially when you break it in. You have the Strike Skin SL rubber fins, which are super unique and very grippy and fun on the ball, to be fair. And then what the Predator Elite LL does well compared to the other two is that this elasticated tongue piece doesn't go as deep as on the other two boots, meaning that you only have this area with no hold on the upper right up top. And obviously it's still not as good as with the laces, but the feeling of lockdown because of that, and in general the slightly more snug, tight-fitting shape of the boot means that there's less space for your foot to move around in, and it just feels more secure, basically. I also, by the way, had very little, if any, heel slippage up and down in the boot, and it's just, you know, I still prefer the laced version, but if I had to choose a laceless Adidas boot, this would be my choice. And it actually does laceless well. But before we move to number one, I also just want to discuss two boots that I know a lot of people will bring up. First thing is the Adidas F50 Plus, which is born laceless. Now the thing is that it's actually a very, very fun boot because of the Lightstrike Pro foam and the double plate technology here, and it just feels so ridiculously powerful and responsive when you're running on the pitch. The problem is that it is laceless, because all of the benefits and the energy return you get from the technology on the outsole, well, that just kind of fades out because there's nothing to hold your foot in place and use all of that energy return to your benefit. So yeah, it's cool, but it kind of sucks because it's laceless, so it's a bad laceless football boot. And also, there is the PUMA Future 8 Ultimate, which Puma say, and some people on the internet, that you can take out the laces and still enjoy it. But for me, I wouldn't, because the heel, it's not the best heel in the world. It's kind of shallow, and even with the laces in, if you grab the boot, your heel can just move up and down. So imagine without the laces, it's gonna move all over the place. I wouldn't take the laces out, to be fair. I just wouldn't. If you want laces, get one of these or number one. Which for me is the new Balance Tekela V4 Plus Pro. Because it's just ridiculous. This hypo knit upper, it is thin, it is soft, and it just follows the shape of your foot so easily, no questions asked. And that also means that for me, it's more comfortable than the Copas. It just fits. It's on the wider side, which means that it's really accommodating for most foot shapes, even my relatively narrow foot. And it is very, very slipper-like and so easy to enjoy. But what's also good is that in the middle of all of this slipper-like awesomeness, the lockdown and the lock-in is actually really good. That is because of this off-center lacing here that's offset towards the medial side, allowing the outside of the boot to have a little bit more structure on top of the foot. And then also this slightly ridiculous looking collar here plays a part because it has a little bit more tension, a little bit more compression really, giving just a little bit more structure and hold on that elasticated part of the foot, and this S-curve on the heel gives you a pressure point right there, which locks the heel nicely in place and just basically eliminates all slippage of the heel, and your foot just stays, really. There's this Infinigrip insole that just, if you wear grip socks, is really nice and effective. So it's mega comfortable, the lockdown is awesome, and it's 230 euros and often less because it's on sale. Genuinely one of the best laceless boots in many years, and one of the best I remember I've ever tried, because it actually provides good lockdown. And that, my friends, is the list of what I think are the 5 best laceless boots in the spring of 2025. I'll also be honest here and say that if you really want a laceless boot, you're serious about it, take a look at the top 3. And maybe, if you want an F50 or a Copa, I understand because they're great boots. If you buy the laced version, just get those instead of these. But the top 3, absolutely phenomenal in my book. And you can, of course, get a all of the boots on the list in the link to Unisport right over there. But what do you think about laceless boots, and which is your favorite laceless boot ever? Let me know as always in the comment section right down below. If you had a good time, make sure to leave a like on the video, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to join one of the biggest and best football families here on YouTube. And if you want more boot videos, well, there's a playlist right down there that you can check out. With those words, thanks for watching. I'll be signing off. Cheerio.